I just met someone who quit smoking after 42 years of a packet a day. Unfortunately, the smoking has caused emphysema, which is eventually going to take her out. She's fully aware that she's about to face an enormously painful end to her life. She also knows that she's spent a fortune to do that. It's tragic that in the midst of a great victory, she's still dealing with the consequences of her actions over 4 decades. But that's habit for you. Good habit or bad habit, you can rely on it to deliver more than you can depend on governments, institutions, or even corporations, all of whom are well known for regularly breaking promises. And that's actually what habits are. In their simplest form, they're promises we either keep or we break. Good habits support you and your desires for a better life. Good habits build self-respect and self-esteem. Good habits reliably deliver outstanding results. Good habits are the predictors of your destiny. Bad habits do exactly the opposite. Bad habits destroy self-trust. Bad habits annihilate self-esteem. Bad habits are acts of self-abandonment. That, my friends, is doing more damage to you than anyone who's ever hurt you, all of them combined. Yet good and bad habits have the same degree of difficulty. It's hard to go to the gym, but it's equally as hard to be obese. The struggle is to either get your ass in gear in the morning or to get your ass into a pair of jeans that's too small every day. The pain adds up to about the same. It's hard to steer clear of rubbishy, tasty, convenient, calorie-laden food that tastes amazing. But it's just as hard to have to publicly ask for a seatbelt extender on the plane. The struggle is to either take control of your urges or deal with the damage your urges create. The pain adds up to about the same. It's difficult, exasperating and frustrating to treat your spouse like royalty when the demands on your time are so intense. It's just as difficult, exasperating and frustrating to deal with divorce, which is intensely lonely, often soul-destroying and usually horrendously expensive. The struggle is to either reach deep to find energy you don't feel you have, or reach deep to deal with pain beyond what you could previously imagine. The pain adds up to about the same. It's hard to put money aside into a savings and investment scheme. It's just as hard to watch someone earning less money than you buy a boat with their savings. The struggle is to either go without now or go without later. The pain adds up to about the same. The reality of most bad habits is that we can drift into them simply by not doing something. You don't even have to have a plan. Inertia, more commonly referred to as procrastination, is all it takes. When we have to walk to the gym in the rain, it's easy to stay in bed. When we need to put some money aside, it's easy to promise to start next week. When we need to make a date night count, it's easy to put it off until next week. When we get the urge for fish and chips, it's easy to tell ourselves it's only this one time. So most bad habits are not actions we undertake, meaning to be bad and awful people. They're things we just didn't get around to doing, things we didn't prioritise. They don't take effort, concentration or focus. They're all a result of letting the easy option be the choice. And that makes it look like good habits are actually hard to establish. It feels like we have to do endless sessions in the gym or sign up to a Spartan regime of sprouts and water or never have a moment to sit and vegetate. Yet nothing could be further from the truth. I've been working in the habit change field for nearly 4 decades and I've seen it firsthand over and over. Bad habits are only there to make an ugly feeling go away. They're mood-altering activities that change how we feel. Specifically, they change bad feelings to good ones. Chocolate does that. It takes our mind off gloomy thoughts and onto pleasurable ones. Shopaholic, alcoholic, workaholic, TVaholic all do exactly the same. It doesn't matter whether it's the smokes decreasing the stress, the TV providing the me time, or the snooze button giving you 5 more minutes. Everything that is in the so-called bad habits territory is something for you that you can't do for yourself. Until you know how to figure out what that unknown deliverable actually is, the bad habit will own you and control you. And think deeply enough about this concept and you have to come to the inevitable conclusion that these unknowns are feelings we think we have no control over. If the smokes take away the stress, then we'll have to figure out another stress relief mechanism before we can dump the fags. If the sugar and the fat-filled treats actually make you feel special, then it's obvious you can't make yourself feel great without them. If ever I've heard a definition of addict, it would be that. The compulsive need to put mood-altering substances into our body in order to stop feeling ordinary has to get your attention. Of course, most people who are not interested in changing their bad habits have a bunch of excuses, rationalisations and justifications ready. I'm sure you've heard them all. The obese claim that they've got big bones, smokers say they've only got one vice, and the poor says it's all the fault of the rich. Sadly, if you want to keep your bad habits running, you'll have a gazillion mates who agree that it's not your fault. But you wouldn't still be listening to me if you were in that category. If you're still here with me, it has to be because you're wanting to free yourself up from those recognised bad habits and the prison that you've built around yourself. Getting out isn't as hard as it might seem. If you know what to do, changing habits becomes child's play. And that's why I'm running my 21-day habit change challenge. What's obvious is it takes 21 days because that's what's required to change a habit. What's not obvious is that every habit is driven by an emotional driver that creates the behaviours that bother us. The 21 days is about finding and nailing those drivers. Over 36 years, I've developed a bulletproof framework for transforming any habit. If you're ready to step your life up and you know you need a dependable, reliable, foolproof system that will overcome your ability to snatch failure out of the jaws of success, register now.